Hey, good morning, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Right up there, 8:01 already. Sorry about the minute delay there. 67 degrees. It was a nice afternoon yesterday, Josh. I mean, it was a beautiful day yesterday after all that rain. Wasn't too hot. I don't think the humidity was too bad. I thought it was an enjoyable afternoon. Let's show them how they can get in touch with the show. At any time there's the phone number, and there is the our email address and all the social media ways to follow us. Now, we've got to pack a lot in here in about 20-some minutes, and we're going to run through some things very quickly because at 8:30 this morning, we will have 15 minutes with Congressman, 9th Congressional District here in Georgia, our Congressman. Now we had to loan him to the nation, right? He's a U.S. Congressman. We had to give him to the entire country because he is the ranking member on the House Judiciary Committee. Doug Collins, he's going to be with us from 8:30 to 8:45. Wondering what questions he would like to ask Robert Mueller. And what are the documents that the Department of Justice has agreed to release to the House Judiciary Committee? We're going to talk to Congressman Collins about that and maybe even go into some 2020 hopeful, wishful thinking. Is it wishful? Shouldn't say that, right? Hopeful thinking. Being hopeful to regain the House in 2020 Republicans. There you go. So let's go through some things. We're going to do a rapid 20 minutes, Josh. It's going to be quick, bada bing, bada boom, right? And I'm going to have it here ready to go so that way we're in line with the congressman. Now, let's go with this, okay? Let's do a couple things. Number 3. We're on day 2. I just want to put this up. We're on day 2 that CEO of FetcherNews.com, have sent Sheriff Jeff Johnson in Dawson County messages offering him a platform to give his side of the story in Dawson County from the dispatch call that we released yesterday. So we're on day 2. I've not heard anything. I'm just going to bring this up on a daily basis because this has been this sheriff's response or lack of response to our organization well before he was calling us a tabloid, fake news, and consider the source. This is almost the day he got elected. No communication. But I'm on day 2 of the offer. Just want to make sure you know. Moving right along. Okay, now, the watch party. Now, I want to go to, give me number 2, okay, rapid fire today. Now, the President of the United States, I think it's next Tuesday, the 18th. I cannot see across the room. Day two also, Josh, not only the sheriff, I forget the glasses laying right on the table. So a Trump rally watch party. Now, I'm putting this up because this is the one I will be attending, the president's team down in Canton. So if you want to look up their watch party for Trump, President Donald Trump kickoff campaign for 2020 rally, that's on June 18th, the president's team. You can go on Facebook, get all the details. That's where I will be going next Tuesday with all my friends down there for a watch party. Now, I just want to say this. Remember, I think it was yesterday or day before, but remember we went through the New York Times. If you do not have it figured out now that the entire media, corporate media, is against the President of the United States and doing everything they can. See, they're going to go after, they did not go after his candidacy this way last time. They didn't take him serious. He was a novelty to them. He was a ratings booster. And that's all they felt he would ever be. Voila! He's President of the United States. So they are out front. The corporate media is out front, working as hard as they can. New York Times wrote a whole entire story about he has no plans for his next term. They have inside sources saying, all he's interested in is the merchandising and what songs they're going to play. But I have never, I don't remember, and I understand when George W. was president of the United States, that, social media was not to the point it is today with, just everywhere you turn. So I understand that. But I don't think that I have ever seen, I don't think I've ever witnessed, I don't think it's ever happened before. All the enthusiasm, the excitement that everybody has about this kickoff. I mean, I'm going online. There's watch parties everywhere. I just, first time I've ever seen campaign kickoff watch party like this. So I just wanted to say that out there. The base is excited for this kickoff next Tuesday. So find somewhere to go. Get the kickoff going. One more thing. We're going to get into this. I want to go here. The tomato sandwich fundraiser. I want to put that up for Pickens County. Let's go with number 5. All right. Don't miss that Saturday. Don't miss that Saturday. It's a great time. They're going to have several guests there. They're going to have the Trump bus, and they're going to have the mayo, tomato, and pepper there. And it's a great time. Go down, support the Pickens County Republican Party. This is an opinion show if you just tuned in, okay? Support the Republican Party of Pickens County by attending the tomato sandwich fundraiser there in Jasper this weekend. Now, I'm gonna get to it just a minute, but number 11. These people are, the words can't describe this. Now, the first Democrat debate, I mean, they are giddy. I mean, I swear, I've never seen a group of people that are so excited about something. There's going to be, MSNBC has announced the moderators live from Miami, June 26th and 27th. The very first, where they're going to get Joe Biden on stage. Joe's curing diseases now. I swear to God, how can you make this stuff up? So anyhow, this is the debate moderators. I mean, what about the old boring days of a moderator right here and back and forth, right? There's as many moderators for these debates right here as there are candidates. It's just a joke. I just had to bring it up. This is the lineup that will be asking questions. Lester Holt, I'd like to know from any of your candidates, if you remember my interview with Donald Trump, that basically Mueller says is what kicked off his, hey, I think he's obstructed justice here. You remember my interview? I want everybody out there to know. Oh my God. Rachel Maddow, how many of you on the stage have realized my ratings have collapsed? And not a one of you helped bring them back. Nobody on this stage is this is good at watch and see what happens. Okay, we will, but that's the moderator group. Nancy, there was such a mess made. Rolling right along here. Okay, so MSNBC and CNN testify. They come and testify. Wait a minute. You got to do the voice, right? Here's the voice. Where is it at? Hold on. Now back to lessons from the Mueller report. I mean, it's like books on tape. Now back with our narrator. Lessons from the Mueller report. Music to sleep. Put you to sleep. Okay, so anyhow, don't have time for all the jokes and shenanigans. No shenanigans here today. All right. So anyhow, number 9, CNN paid contributor John Dean. He goes up there and testifies money. Lessons from the Mueller report. And then Joyce White Vance, number 11, former U.S. attorney, MSNBC contributor, goes up there, and they have quite an afternoon. It was such a disaster I mean, that was such a disaster. It was intended to educate Americans. Remember, they continue to say, Lewis and all of them, John Lewis and all of them, that they have to educate the American people concerning impeachment. They got to bring you along. Well, that was hopefully what they wanted to do there. So number 12, Pelosi says not even close to start impeachment. I mean, this disaster, we need answers to questions left unanswered by the Mueller report, Pelosi said on the House floor. Not even close. No, that was a disaster. That was a major disaster and setback for the no solution. Hashtag no solution Democrats. Hashtag stop the nonsense. Hashtag vote Republican. All right, so number 13. Whoa, no, don't go there. Don't go there yet. My bad. Is that what they say? My bad. All right. I want to get to this first. Number 22. Now, first of all, they want me to believe, and we'll get into that in a minute, they want me to believe that America can't wait for this creepy, floppy Joe, as Rush and some are calling him now with his flip-flopping. Creepy, sleepy, floppy Joe. How many names can you get? Biden, 76 years old. We cannot wait for a crusty old white guy. I mean, the black community they are cheering right now. They are laying down their gang weapons and say, and in a moment of applause that this creepy, flip-flopping, 78-year crusty old white guy can be the next president and continue to send them into economic decline in the inner city. They're cheering. Now he's going to cure cancer. This dude's going to cure cancer. If president, I will cure. Why didn't he cure cancer when he was in the Senate? Why didn't he cure cancer, before poor Kennedy died of cancer? I mean, why not? Why is he going to cure cancer now? He's had all these years. I'm not going to get down to cancer and get into that, but I'm just like, really? What about the diseases coming across the border as we speak, Joe? There are some you'll be able to cure in the future. It's crazy. Crazy. I should have never done that. That didn't go well. So anyhow, let me ask you this. I know I don't have pictures today, Josh. I just remembered I read this article last night, and I hope it's still fresh to where I can find it immediately. Hoping I can find it and it hasn't disappeared. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Well, it was about California, and I think I'll get it on the next sheet here. I want to get this up. It's about California, and I guess I'm not going to find it. Here it is. California, we have been doing this story, right? And I want to believe that's why Joe's here. California's in the bag for the Democrats. New York's in the bag for the Democrats. Illinois, right? You look at the states that are in the bag for Joe or whoever, but I'm thinking Joe. So you look at that, and they're in the bag, and we have been doing the story here on the show for several days. We started last week, actually on the All-Star panel last week. I think I brought up to the panel 59,000, up 16% in LA County, up 12% in the city of LA. But we were talking about the homeless and the disaster in this country, okay? So California, they've made a disaster out of these inner cities. There's no one talking about solving anything. There's no solutions for California. With 28 of 40 regions within the state having reported preliminary estimates of their 2019 point-in-the-time counts of homeless population, California officials are struggling to grasp that the number of homeless already exceed 129,972. This is California. 129,972 in the entire state, 2018. 2019 is certain to surpass 150,000. Okay? Wonder what their statement will be on the census. How long have you lived in this tent? Is this shopping cart all you own? I mean, how do we establish 200,000 people for congressional numbers? I mean, they could just up and move any day. They don't have to, they don't have to, nothing complicated about them leaving. Joe, they cannot go to California and talk about, they say Donald Trump's a disaster in this country. They cannot go to California or anywhere in these liberal states that they already own and talk about the actual crisis in the state and solutions. The states are now, and we have been saying this how many days now on here, the states are now equal, these blue states, to their voting blocks. They don't have to solve anything for the black community. They have that vote. They don't have to solve anything for California. They have that vote. They don't have to solve anything for the LGBTQF community. F is for Flamer. They have that vote. They don't have to solve anything for the state of New York. They have that vote. The disaster is in, and they can't go there and campaign. And I heard somebody say yesterday in California that they wish the president of the United States would come to California and start campaigning. And you know what? Go for it. But anyhow, I wanted to get that. All right, let's get past that. So, where am I at? Lost my train. You know that's not hard to do here. I got a couple minutes here before Congressman Collins. So, there's no need. We already know. Number 13. The media wants you to believe before kickoff they are working hard. New York Times is putting it out that Trump is not even interested in the campaign. He doesn't even have a plan for the second term. They are building up the downer. They're trying to push the downer in this kickoff next Tuesday. They can't take it. Trump is solutions. Every single day he is about solutions for this country. Finding a way to solve the problem. Crisis at the border. How do we solve it? Regardless, trade deficits. How do we solve it? Trade with China. How do we solve it? Trade with Mexico. Every day he's all about solutions. Democrats, hashtag no solutions, hashtag stop the nonsense, hashtag vote Republican. Okay, here it is. There's no use. Biden beats him 53-40. There's no use for the guy to even have a campaign kickoff next Tuesday. Pushing him down. There's no use. He doesn't win. Okay? Number 14. 40 to 42% support Trump in 2020 election. 42 approved Trump's job performance. 41 credit Trump for good economy. 41 approved Trump's Mexico policy. He's just can't get past that 50%. But then again, you don't need 50 with the Electoral College that they're trying to take apart, right? So, let me see what else. There's CNN right there. I wonder who gets the emails in the morning. Who's responsible for rushing this stuff? 18, number 18. There's CNN. Choice for president. Biden 53-40. Sanders is kicking his rear end in Detroit. Kicking his rear end in Michigan. Look at the a poll that's out by the Detroit Daily Register or whatever. Kamala Harris is kicking. Warren, Pocahontas, and the gay guy, and Cory Booker. Interesting. So we're going to run past that. Now, you remember, let's see. How now? Remember when you say, how now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Interesting. How now, brown cow? Number one, Oh, God, I'm blind. I can't see. What did Al Bundy say? Fat lady walked in the shoe store today. I know every bit of this is wrong, but oh my God, I'm sorry. Did I have you? Now that you've recovered, gotten back in your chair, Stacey Abrams takes stay and fight message to Hollywood. Atlanta Business Chronicle, former Democrat gubernatorial nominee Stacey Abrams brought her message of stay and fight, Hollywood. Stay, help us fight for what's right. Don't leave. You are such a great asset to Georgia. But yeah, there's where Stacey is. Get that off the screen. You just scared the daylights out of a million Americans. All right, so last night I want to just throw this out because I can't do it today, and I'm going to do it tomorrow. So if you're out there, I'm going to do Blue Ridge City Council. So Blue Ridge City Council puts out this derelict property ordinance, number 6. This is the mayor, Donna Whitener, fresh off her latest glamour shot. And Mayor Whitener, a 36-page document, last meeting. So the mayor, here's the whole council. Let's just go for number 8, okay? There's the mayor and Rhonda Thomas, front row. Robbie, I forget Robbie's last name. Sorry, Robbie. Sorry, love you, man. Forgot her last name. Ken Gaddis in the back, scruffy-looking guy with the beard. He's a good guy. It was a joke. It was a joke, okay? Nathan Fitz and then Harold. For those of us that know him, it's Harold. But anyhow, last night at Blue Ridge City Council, so last meeting, they released this 36-page document, and they had a first reading. So now if you're out there and I say you don't understand, let me put this into perspective, you don't understand how it works, is when you're going to change an ordinance in your city in the state of Georgia, what we're supposed to do is supposed to have a first reading, a second reading, and at the second reading you can have a vote. Now, here's the interesting thing. It can be debated on whether the first reading, it could be debated on a reading needs to be in the entire document into the record. So they didn't take at the last, or meeting before last, officially, they didn't take all the time and read the 36 pages into it. They basically said, we need to clean up the city. We need to condemn some of these buildings. We need to give Chief of Police Johnny Searcy all the power he needs to go in and clean up the town. So now Johnny Searcy says last night, hey, although he wrote the city attorney a letter with his concerns about blight and derelict property in the city, that there's some things in there that he didn't put in there. Anyhow, so last month they had a first reading. Then it goes out to the public. Well, the public gets in an outrage. They start reading it. So social media blow up. We do a segment. We write a story. And it blows up. Well, the mayor takes basically us to task with, before rumors and false truths. But wait a minute. You were about to have a second reading on this 36-page document. And you would have voted last night if it wasn't for social media and some outrage. So tomorrow, we're going to do some full, I'm going to try to get Ken Gaddis on the show. Going to try to get Michael Eaton. He made a public comment. If he'll come on, I'll invite the mayor. But we want to do tomorrow a very full, in detail discussion on this, because I think in your city, the derelict property ordinance, because that might be coming up in your city. So we want to break it down. Maybe there's some good. Maybe the mayor wants to talk about the good, but we're going to break that down tomorrow. It's important. We got to go to break. I got to get out. We're going to be right back sharp at 8:30, no matter where those commercials are, with Congressman Doug Collins as soon as we return. Thanks, Josh. Take us to break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
It's always Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. And with our maximum discount guarantee, nobody else comes close. Now save up to $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs, or choose 0% financing for 72 months, or save up to $7,000 off Colorado crew cabs. The new truck selection is huge, and the discounts are unbeatable at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where it's always Truck Month.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress.
Okay, folks, we're back. Joining us now, Congressman Doug Collins, Republican of Georgia, also the House Judiciary Committee ranking member. Congressman, how are you this morning?
I'm great. How are you, Brian? How's lovely North Georgia this morning?
It's great. We can't complain. We're I guess we're going to say we're glad you're up there in the battle, but we do feel for you, okay? We know where you're at. And, all right. And so,
I appreciate it a bunch.
So we'll send that to you from the 9th District. We know our time is short. We've got a whole list of things to do. I don't want to dwell too much on this, but actually a CNN, and I thought it was interesting that Nadler, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Monday you had just a joke of a afternoon with a former U.S. attorney and MSNBC contributor Joyce White Vance, and then CNN sent somebody, former Nixon White House counsel at CNN contributor John Dean, which we can't go into a lot of time on really the background on John Dean. What did they hope to advance, and what happened there Monday, not to put too much time on this subject?
Well, we had basically a return to the 70s show. We had the godfather of using government resources to influence political campaigns in John Dean. If anybody doesn't know who John Dean is, have a great morning going and looking up Watergate. You'll find out why he's disbarred and why he was a central figure in the Watergate scandal. And then you have basically what I call the self-promotion tour for two commentators on TV. What we found out was nothing new. What we found out was, shockingly, they believed the president committed obstruction. And shockingly, at the end of the day, the hearing ended up with nothing except the Democrats saying the same thing they've been saying now for 6 weeks after the Mueller, or 7 weeks after the Mueller report, and that was that, we still got to investigate this because we don't like what Mueller said, and we're trying to make sure that we find a reason to impeach the president. Well,
we call this out here out here. We'll just say that we call it the pre impeachment inquiries, pre-hearings. Let me ask you this, and I don't know myself, who actually has the authority to start impeachment inquiry hearings? And what I mean by that is Gerald Nadler is the ranking member, and he comes out and we're working through, and all the things he says concerning impeachment, but then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is adamant no. Who actually has the authority to start those impeachment inquiries?
The easiest way to say that is the majority itself. And so that would actually end up being Nancy Pelosi would be the one to actually give the green light to Gerald Nadler to begin to actually file the impeachment inquiry paperwork, and then what would subsequently be then possibly an impeachment resolution. So it starts with the majority in the House. It would all go through the Judiciary Committee, but that's to a shortened down version, that's the basic version.
Do you feel Democrats on the committee are backing away from wanting Special Counsel Robert Mueller's testimony? Do you think they're backing away in concerns of what you and your colleagues, much like Congressman Jim Jordan, may ask Robert Mueller? And if you get him there, what are some of the things you would like to ask former Special Counsel Robert Mueller?
Well, I think this chairman is scared of Mueller coming because he knows Mueller will only testify to what he's already said. I mean, look, would it be a good day for trying to go through and rehash Volume 1 and Volume 2? No, I mean it's just another frustrating day for the president. And what they want to do is taint and tar the president, and especially going into the 2020 election. However, I think they're scared of having Mueller come, knowing they won't give him anything new, but they're also scared, as you said, of me and others on the committee who are going to ask questions such as, why did you give hiring decisions to Weinstein, who is a known partisan Democrat, and he hired all these other Democrats on this panel? Why, were you asleep at the wheel? Were you just not doing what you were supposed to be doing? Then why did you take up parts of the dossier and exonerate those, but not take up the other parts of the dossier? Why did you not look at how this actually got started? Did you not recognize that Carter Page and George Papadopoulos were probably not the best people to actually be looking into, and probably not the most, even a basic simple reading of the two of them realize that they're more fluff than substance. And, and you're actually going to base a counterintelligence investigation on these two? I mean, that's putting like a lot of stock in nothing. So I think what they don't want to have happen is again, they don't have anything out of the report. There's nothing else that they can really gain from that. They want to have investigations, but they don't have the power or authority or the resources to do the investigation. So I think it's a catch-22 for them. I mean, in my opinion, I'd like to see Mueller come in. I'd like to actually talk to the author of the report, not just see the report. I mean, there's a lot of discussion up here that people want to just move away and move on. That's just not happening because the Democrats are addicted to impeachment, and that's all that they can do. And the committee itself is about split 12 to 12 on people who've actually said they want to see impeachment and those who are saying, well, we just need to continue to investigate.
All right, quickly, the House stepped up they voted, House voted to enforce Barr and McGahn subpoenas yesterday. We would hope that the news would come out of the House that they were working on solutions with our border crisis and many other things. But what does this mean? Yesterday, stepped up to enforce Barr and McGahn subpoenas to testify before your committee.
It was a classic Macbeth, strutting and fretting their hour upon the stage, and at the end signifying nothing. They gained no new powers yesterday. I just did an interview just a little bit earlier, and they kept saying, and it was a more liberal-leaning organization, and they actually said, they gained new powers yesterday. They gained nothing yesterday. They always had the authority to go to the BLAG, which is the Bipartisan Legal Action Group, Legal Affairs Group, to actually go to court to enforce subpoenas or to insert ourselves into other to other cases, that kind of thing. So the sad part about it is they gained no new authority. What they did do is they circumvented the American people's visibility into holding people in contempt for these not supplying with the subpoenas. So their moderate voters, moderate members such as Lucy McBath down in Georgia 6th District or others, don't have to keep going to the floor looking, like radical impeachment folks and voting to have to vote for contempt, which is the proper way to go about this. They gained nothing yesterday except basically destroyed the institution going forward, because what they have said is we're just going to enforce subpoenas straight to the court without having to involve ourselves in any of the real work of accommodation and working with the branches to actually get their subpoenas enforced.
Highlight the agreement that we're hearing about between your committee, which Chairman Nadler, and the Department of Justice on documents that the Department of Justice is going to share with your committee concerning the report. What they like to call the underlying evidence. I'm sorry, I always love when they run that narrative, the underlying evidence. But give us an update on what those documents are that DOJ is going to share with your committee and what we're going to be hearing about through them.
Well, you're not going to hear a whole lot because there's nothing new in what they got. In fact, this week has been a cotton candy week for the chairman. And you know how cotton candy tastes good, looks good, it feels good, but doesn't fill you up? Well, there's nothing to it. And again, he's trying to spin something that really, if he had engaged in accommodation process 6-7 weeks earlier, he'd have had this information, which is just 302, the witness notes and stuff. He could have had this, several weeks ago, just like HPSI has had. None of the stuff that has been made available to him was not already available to the House Intelligence Committee. So this is not something new. Again, they want it to be new because his investigation, he's done such a poor job at this whole thing that right now he's trying to say everything to save face in what he's doing. And frankly, it's pretty sad because you made a point. You want to talk about real problems that our committee could solve? Let's go to the border and solve the border issue. You want to talk about real things that this committee could solve? Let's talk about intellectual property theft and others from China. You want to talk about real things that this committee could solve? Let's not only talk about the border, but let's also talk about our need for agricultural workers and our H-2A and H-2B programs and our things that have legal immigration emphasis. And these are the kind of things that the president's wanted to talk about and others. But I have a chairman who is addicted to impeachment, and he can't get off of it.
Well, I call them the no solution Democrats, and that's just that they're not able to solve any problems, and it's the only thing they're going on. I want to switch gears. You released so many of the transcripts of the interviews or testimony that we were able to read. Strzok, Page, the list goes on. Bruce, Nellie Orr. But that being said, how are things moving, the best of what you know, how are things moving with our Attorney General, William Barr, on the other side, the actual investigation we feel needs to be going on? And just to add on to that, when do you think there seems to be a little delay in Inspector General Horowitz's report? So can you shed a little light on that side, the investigation we're interested in?
Yeah, there's no really delay. I mean, the Inspector General is finishing up his report. I think we'll see that within the next, probably 3 to 4 weeks. I think a July probably time frame is a good one, and I know that's one of the reasons that the Democrats are so panicky because they don't want to. They know that when that happens, the story gets changed. At least any questions are going to be able to be asked. And then you have the Durham investigation, which I would expect probably later in the fall, if anything. That would be the closest time there. Again, they're doing that investigation. And I think, look, there's a reason that Comey and McCabe and Baker and all these are running out and, trying to, rehabilitate their story. And talk about how good they actually were, because I mean, again, I think some of these issues when they start coming out are not going to show them in the best light, and they're going to show the truth of what was actually going on in some very interesting discussions and atmospheres of how they got started in this investigation, coming off the Clinton mid-year investigation and running right into the investigations of the Russian interference, and again starting it off on very tenuous ground. So I think that's what you're seeing, and we'll see hopefully here in the next few weeks and few months about how that comes out.
Congressman, I got 4 minutes, and two things. I know your pro-life commitment, and so let me ask you this. What are you thinking when you're hearing Democrat presidential candidates out there on the stump, and now Joe Biden flip-flopping, and all of them saying they would end the Hyde Amendment, but not really saying what that means? That means asking taxpayers to pay for abortions. What say you on that when you're hearing that out there on the stump, that the Democrats want the Hyde Amendment gone, and they want the American people to take their tax money and pay for the abortions?
Well, again, it shows you how radical the Democratic Party has come on the issue of life. I mean, it seems like they want to try and care about everything except, children in the womb. And, that's, again, it's sort of sad. I mean, for somebody like Joe Biden to have to change a stance that he's held for 30 or 40 years, that he holds as a, religious belief, from his Catholic background, to actually say that, now we won't, to use taxpayer money to murder babies. I mean, it's just that just shows you where they're at this point. And when the litmus test is coming out that they're trying to run anybody with a pro-life stance out of the Democratic Party, I think it just shows you they have a culture of death, not a culture of life. And it's just, again, it saddens. I think the best part about it is, I mean, I can rant and rave all I want, but it just basically at the end of the day, it just saddens me to think that this is, how they view life.
Well, I understand that through polling that I don't always trust, but even people that identify as pro-choice, many say, but don't use my tax money to pay the bill. So that's interesting. One thing I want you to share with our viewers this morning, the president is going to kick off his campaign, his re-election campaign, next Tuesday night. As far as the House is concerned, out here, are we getting ready to hear something, a unified message from the House of Representatives on the Republican side about trying to regain the majority in the House? Are we getting ready to really hear some exciting election news from the Republican Congressional Committee on re-election there as far as the House is concerned?
Well, I mean, we've already started doing that. I mean, our main goal is to retake the House and have the president reelected and maintain our majorities in the Senate. And we're doing that already. We've already started hitting, from our campaign committees and others, we've already started hitting these new freshman Democrats on the fact that they're now taking votes that are, especially in districts like the 6th District of Georgia with Lucy McBath, and over in South Carolina, the Cunningham District and others. We're saying, look, you're telling your people one thing back home, but yet you're coming up to D.C. and you're voting a really radical, left agenda. And we're already starting holding them accountable to that. So we're continuing that process. We're highlighting every chance we get. When I'm not having to fight off the impeachment craze up here, is we're showing that there are differences, that we have a process for the border that needs to be worked on. We have a process that the economy is at its highest levels ever, our trade, and we need to get done. And these are the kind of things that we're going to be emphasizing as we go into the next election cycle. And the biggest thing is people need to turn out. If they want a more dominant socialist, more agenda, or more democratically controlled government, then they stay at home and let Democrats, get elected or keep the House. If they don't want that, if they want more freedom, they want more tax money in their pocket, they want their economy to still continue to do well, if they don't want to have this kind of just crazed impeachment talk all the time, then people need to get out. They need to quit worrying about, look, there's not a Democrat that's going to be on the ticket that is 5%, even remotely 5% close to being what a 95% Republican would be, and that's the issue at this point. And if Republicans don't get that, then we're not going to be in a good position.
Congressman, I appreciate you always coming on the show and sharing this insight with our viewers. Thank you. Have a nice day, and we wish you well.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
All right, we're gonna take just a 15-second card break to cut this recording, and we'll be right back. So Josh, give us that 15-second break. Okay, we're back. We just finished up with the Republican ranking member of the House Judiciary Committee. I want to emphasize, because like we only have so much time. Doug Collins, sorry about that, Congressman Doug Collins. We only have so much time in the morning, but just like Congressman Collins said, and I'd like for you to go research John Dean. When you get time, it could be interesting because he is not just the White House counsel that flipped on Nixon. He was a Nixon loyalist, but he wasn't just at White House counsel. If you read Watergate, look at some of the back tapes and look at it. The night they broke into the Watergate Hotel, the DNC committee headquarters, they may have been hunting some things that was beneficial to John Dean and others. So he's not just White House counsel like Don McGahn. So take a time to look at that. I want to thank Congressman Collins. And look, here's the bottom line. The Democrats have no solutions. None. I'm serious. Hashtag no solutions. No solution Democrats. Period. They have no solutions. They have no solutions for the homeless crisis in this country, which is a crisis. They have no solution for the border crisis. They called your president of the United States a liar. Remember the 2018, the caravan is all made up. Jim Acosta went to the border. It's not real. They ran all of the media, the corporate media, did everything they can to try to convince you that that border issue was no more than Trump wanting to put a kid in a cage and let a kid die from a health. I'm serious. That's all they did was lie to you. Now, you know it's a crisis, right? Let me ask you a question. They continue to say that they won on the issues. Okay? Democrats continue to say, we won on the issues. All right? In 2018, we won on the issues of, dreamers, fixing immigration. We mainly won on Obamacare and pre-existing conditions. Yesterday, they had what's called a show vote. That's all it is. No new power. I agree with the congressman all over the place. Congress emboldened up the power they have, or gave more power to Jerry Nadler, chair committee, House Judiciary Committee chair. More power. No, they didn't. It was a show vote. Were they in there trying to pass legislation for your pre-existing condition? They're on the campaign trail and saying, Donald Trump just wanted to end Obamacare. Nothing. They claim that's what they won on. Where are your health care solutions? Where are their bold initiatives? When have they come out to the podium and actually spent 30 minutes saying, today we solved all the health care issues that we promised you? See, you voted for us and you gave us a majority because we were going to fix your health care. Here it is. We got to get it to the Senate and we got to get it to the president. Where's it at? No solutions. Not one earthly thing do they have a solution for. None of the crisis in this country. Opiates, drug overdoses, no solution. Their solution, the only thing they're out campaigning on, is a woman's right to murder a child. I'm sorry, you can like that if you're not, but that's their big campaign. Okay? When you ask all of those Democrats, the Hyde Amendment, yes, you must be able to murder that child in the birth canal anytime the mother says so. I don't care how crude this sounds. And now we want you to pay for it. I'm sorry. No solutions. Hashtag no solution Democrats. Hashtag stop the nonsense. Hashtag vote Republican 2020. I'm going to a watch party Tuesday night to kick off the re-election campaign for put up number one, my friends down there at the president's team. It's not number one. That number one would scare the hell out of people again, okay? I can't remember what number that is. But look, I got to go to break. There you go. Find a watch party, please. They're going on everywhere. I'm going down to Canton with my friends down there. There'll be about 80, 90 people, maybe 100. Find a watch party because we're kicking off Tuesday night. We're bringing it back. House of Representatives, Republican. Okay, I'm out. Got a special surprise for you on the other side of this break. You're really going to enjoy it. I know you will. And don't forget, tomorrow we're going to do a full Blue Ridge segment. Take us to break, Josh.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
Welcome to Mountain Valley Motors. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat vehicles available, plus a wide selection of quality used vehicles. Located at 7535 Appalachian Highway in Blue Ridge, we treat the needs of each individual customer with paramount concern. We know that you have high expectations, and as a car dealer, we enjoy the challenge of meeting and exceeding those standards each and every time. Allow us to demonstrate our commitment to excellence. Our experienced sales staff is eager to share its knowledge and enthusiasm with you. We encourage you to browse our online inventory, schedule a test drive, and investigate financing options. Visit us online or call us at 706-516-1053.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
It's always Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. And with our maximum discount guarantee, nobody else comes close. Now save up to $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs. Or choose 0% financing for 72 months. Or save up to $7,000 off Colorado crew cabs. The new truck selection is huge. And the discounts are unbeatable. At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where it's always Truck Month.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
We are RFG and BAC. Filling in for BKP.
The third.
I don't know if this is a surprise or what, but Brian promised you a surprise, and I don't know if it's a nightmare, a surprise, or what it is. Anyway, you probably have seen us before if you tune in on the All-Star panel in the morning on Fridays with Jane, but we're here today to take care of a little downtime for Brian. He had to run to another meeting. He's running and gunning these days.
He always going to commission meetings.
I know. How many counties are you all covering now, Josh? You guys up to 100 yet? Yeah, we're getting close, he said. I tell you what, we're gonna need to clone Brian. So 12 counties, all right.
All right.
We got kind of a serious thing to talk about this morning, and that is, our good friend who comes in and does Meet the Doc. He's
on Fridays mornings in front of us.
Meet the Doc, Doc Whaley, who's part of the Northside cancer specialist.
William Whaley.
William Whaley. He's one of the leading oncologists in the country, and I think maybe could be one of the longest practicing oncologists. Mm-hmm. But we are sorry to report that Doc may not have a job anymore as of the 2020 election if Biden gets in. Did you hear about this?
Yes, Dr. Biden.
Dr. Biden said that he will cure cancer, which will put Doc Whaley out of a job we're afraid of. So we were laughing in the car this morning coming over. Bruce came up with a great idea. And I think, Josh, if you'll show me that little piece that we've got set up. This is what we're going to be able to, this is our new nickname for hiding Biden these days. Josh, have you got that up that you could show us?
They call him Flipper, faster than lightning. No one you see is smarter,
That was great. Let me tell you what's cool about this, about Josh and the way he operates in here. We came in here literally 15 minutes ago, and I said, Josh, can you bring up the theme? Do you remember Flipper? Oh, yeah, got it. Boom, boom, boom. 3 keystrokes, and man, he's right on it. But that was really good. How many times has he flipped now?
Oh, it's going beyond count. I mean, now China is a threat to us. A month ago was no big deal.
No big deal. Folks. Yeah, well, I know those guys.
Folks. Yeah,
they mess around here and there. Yeah, they mess around with his son, and they give him how many $1 million when he walks over there with absolutely no experience. Next thing we know, the Bank of China's bankrolling his venture firm or his whatever he's got.
Yeah, he's got a capital venture firm.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. And then the Hyde Amendment, a month ago he was for it, and then 2 days.
The Hyde Amendment, 1976.
No federal monies for abortion.
Right. 41 years the guy has been on the Hyde Amendment. He said, I absolutely back it. So what happens?
Last week he came out and said, I'm sticking by the Hyde Amendment. He got all kinds of flack.
And then that twit, Melissa Milano. Alyssa Milano.
Alyssa Milano.
Yeah, the one that's was lobbying at the Georgia Capitol to not have the heartbeat bill. She apparently called his campaign manager whining, and next thing we know, Joe is Flipper, once again.
Once again. And on top of that, he's got a new campaign logo, which he plagiarized from Daniel Avenatti. Let's make America again.
Yeah. Where did that come from, Joe, huh?
The guy is just out of control. I mean, he's losing it.
We'll go down this road, if you will.
Okay.
There's how many candidates now? 36?
No.
26?
Yeah. It's
whatever.
It's a double baker's dozen. So, 26, whatever.
A double baker's dozen. Now you want me to have bagels. I want bagels now.
A nice cake donut. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, let's see. So they got all these candidates. Not one of them is nationally recognized.
Well, other than Joe.
That's what I was going to say. Other than Joe. Yeah. You've got Commie Bernie. And then you go down to Pocahontas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you got Pete Buttigieg from
South Bend,
Indiana. He doesn't know what he wants to be.
And you got the lady senator from California, Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris, who comes out this morning and says, if I'm elected, I vow to prosecute Trump. Prosecute him on what? You just can't make this stuff up. Now she's going to be a prosecutor if she wins. Biden is going to cure cancer, put Doc Whaley out of a job.
Yeah.
And what's Bernie going to do? And then AOC is pushing the new Green Deal to all of these folks.
Yeah, she's also pushing, she thinks all the congressmen and senators should get a raise.
Yeah, she just can't make it in her new luxury apartment on 174 grand a year. My goodness.
Yep.
Plus expenses.
Yep.
You know, sleep in your office, AOC. Maybe you'd save some dough.
It's amazing.
You can do your selfie videos from inside your office there.
It just, beyond belief.
Yeah.
Beyond
Anyway,
belief.
Joe is the one, though. Do you think he's going to make it?
No. I think, he's already started to slip in the Iowa poll. And again, I think people want to put him through the ringer, all these candidates, to see like who really is going to step up and, kind of act meaningful or say things that are going to resonate with the Democratic faithful. So, no, I think at the end of the day, he's not going to be their candidate. But, I mean, then you default to Bernie. Bernie is kind of like the next behind him, but, I mean, he's toxic.
He is totally toxic for the party.
Yeah.
I know we're biased on this. Yeah.
Me?
Well, we are. I mean, if people don't know who we like, then they've never watched it, and maybe that's just as well. But you try to separate the partisanship a little bit and say, okay, let's talk about this from a practical standpoint. Excuse me. Yeah. Does Joe really have a shot? I don't think so. I think he's going to do just like he did in the past. He's gonna, I don't know that he can win Iowa.
Well, you look how much he's like trying to pander to every possible interest
That's
group.
his MO.
Well, yeah, I mean, and a lot of them seem to be doing that for the Democratic primary.
Right.
But then when you go to a national election against Trump, I mean...
Then you got to become more centrist.
Yeah, and you wonder how many positions they're going to pull back from. Well, I didn't really mean that, and it's like,
Q Flipper.
Yeah, as they say in Louisiana, they're going to start crawfishing, backing up big time.
Yeah.
So... I'm not sure. Once you get past Bernie and Joe, you get down to the Pete Buttigieg, you get to Kamala, you get to the other guy from California, Yang, and interestingly enough, no one's heard from Howard Schultz, the Starbucks guy. He sort of pulled in his horns and disappeared from the world stage.
Boy, you're not kidding. I never even think about. Excuse me, I didn't think about that.
I don't know if he's just, keeping his gunpowder dry or, he basically got soured on it or, people got to him. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back into play. And, of course, there's rumors that Hillary is, at the War College trying to, hone her skills. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting 18 months or less now.
What about Bloomberg? You're an old coal storage guy, dry bulk, liquid bulk.
Yeah.
It's putting his money.
Yeah.
Manchin's pushing back hard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, money talks, but I mean,
To those of you who've missed it, Michael Bloomberg, former mayor of New York, has put up $5 million.
More than that, I think.
Was it?
Yeah, 5 or maybe 10 million.
Well, to try to eradicate the coal industry. I mean, if people would just step back and take a look, and I've learned from Bruce, there is no way within I don't know how many years, even if it was a concerted effort, we could wean this world off of coal.
Not going to happen. And along those lines, I have something here. The Paris Accord.
We didn't talk about this. This is
yeah. We just got the stuff here.
Just came across the wire.
The Paris Accord, of course, was that climate control bill that the UN pushed very strongly, and everybody got on board, and Obama was for it, but it never got ratified in the House and the Congress. And then Trump came in and just pulled out of it completely. And supposedly that was going to be the answer to the CO2 emissions in the world. But basically, the U.S. emissions are the only industrialized power country that is going down. Our emissions through use of natural gas and things like that catalytic converters on the cars, all that sort of good stuff, has brought ours down. And I heard a statistic the other day that there's something like only 15 or 18 coal-fired power plants left in the U.S. There's a lot of them that have been decommissioned because natural gas has taken over. Okay, but let's look at the numbers for the rest of the world. The ROW. In Europe right now, there are 468 existing coal-fired stations. They're going to be adding about another 30. In India, there's 589 coal-powered stations.
With how many under construction?
Well, 446, almost doubling the amount in India. And again, you have to remember some of these are like regional, very small. They're not huge power plants like most of the ones in the U.S. The big hitter, China. They have 2,363 power plants now. They're expected in the next 10 years to build another 1,171. So if you look at an emissions map now, I mean, China and India are the big red plumes. That's where most of the CO2 emissions are coming from. So whatever the U.S. is doing is not going to make a hill of beans difference in total global CO2 emissions. And you know, if you believe that science at the end of the day anyway, whatever we do here is not going to make one hill of beans difference. So
the bottom line is, if we eliminate coal in this country, it's doubling in all the other parts of the world. So we'll be sitting with our thumbs you know where, and trying to find work for all the out-of-work coal miners.
Yeah, and coal is, you know, a U.S. resource. It's here. It's one of the cheapest resources to get to make power. And with a lot of new coal technology on scrubbers and all that sort of stuff on the stacks, it's very clean. It's become a lot cleaner than it used to be. And one thing people don't even think about with all this push towards electrification.
Exactly. Come on, say it.
So supposedly 20% or 25% of the automotive fleet by 2025, if you believe the auto companies, is going to be electric. Well, where's all that electric going to come from? There's not enough capacity if you have all these people in the electric cars going home every night, plugging in and drawing on the grid. So there's a lot of...
the only way you can supply the grid, make batteries, support that infrastructure is with what?
Coal. Coal power.
Coal power.
Yeah, because the best would be nuclear, but I mean, nuclear is like, you know, castigated and it's probably not going to happen, even though that would probably be the cleanest power and the quickest to bring up to speed. So it's a regrettable situation that we're sort of shooting ourselves in the foot, in my opinion, that you have a resource that's ours, you have workers that are ours that'll be extracting it, processing it, and putting it into furnaces to make power.
Well, Manchin's pushing back hard on the Bloomberg thing, and you know he's made a career sticking up for the coal miners in West Virginia, obviously.
Yeah. West Virginia, Illinois, Ohio, Colorado, Utah, Wyoming,
Kentucky.
yeah. There's a lot of people that are dependent upon that, and the transportation system, rail, barge. I mean, a lot of people would be affected if coal were eliminated. So much like I take some umbrage with that 20% of the cars being electric by 2025, I would also say to Mr. Bloomberg, it ain't going to happen.
So you don't think that your favorite brand Audi out there is really going to go green all the way?
Well, yeah, I mean, all the car companies are like on this electrification bandwagon. I know Audi, the whole Volkswagen group is big. The U.S. companies are looking at it. Ford, you know, GM are doing it. All the car companies are looking at it. But I think they're overshooting the mark. I mean, internal combustion engines are going to be here well past our demise and probably, you know, a long time in our children's lifetime. So I wouldn't hold my breath.
Well, anyway, where do you want to
go? Hong Kong?
Oh, boy.
How about Hong Kong?
I'm sure glad I'm not there. Let's put it that
really,
way.
Really?
I'd be dodging rubber bullets, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's touch on that a little bit. And, you know,
briefly,
briefly, we've got basically a young person uprising, trying to block the gates of the courthouse. And what are they protesting? They're protesting a
new law.
Yeah, a move to extradite
people in Hong Kong,
Right.
residents of Hong Kong, which are operating under the Sino-British agreement from 1997. It's the 50-year plan where
Goes to 2047,
It'll go to
correct?
2047.
Yeah.
Where Hong Kong is an autonomous region. It's not part of China. It's called Two Chinas, One System, or Two Systems, One China. Excuse me. And basically they, from their history before this deal was signed with the Brits, the British basically controlled Hong Kong, and they were given 50 years to be themselves, not beholden to Beijing, as it were. But now the legislature in Hong Kong has a majority pro-Beijing bloc, and they have decided to bring in this legislation.
And that block is big enough to control, to have a
rules for
supermajority.
ordinances in Hong Kong that would apply to the people. And then basically they're saying, okay, if you commit a crime, you're not going to be tried under our rules, which are kind of like the English system. You're going to be treated under the mainland China rules, which are much harsher and really don't follow a very good rule of law. So a lot of young people are saying, BS to that. We like what we got here, and we have this treaty that goes to at least 2047, and we want to be independent of China. And so they're in the streets. They're shutting down streets. They're shutting down businesses, and
the fire hoses and the rubber bullets are rampant today.
Tear gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Beijing, of course, doesn't like this. I mean, this reminds them quite a bit of Tiananmen, which they really don't like civil unrest. That's bad for the communist system. So it's going to be interesting to
Well,
watch.
it's bad for the morale, right? They don't want anybody to know about any civil unrest for fear it may catch on and...
Yeah, the people will challenge their power. Communist Party is all about power. So
Right.
it'll be interesting to watch, and along with all the other stuff going on with the China trade discussion and some of the island building they're doing in the South China Sea. So it's an interesting development. We have to keep our eye on that.
Yeah, as long as we're international, why don't we zip across back to Central America and talk a little bit about Guatemala, talk a little bit about Mexico, and the president's deal with Mexico. The acting, is it ICE or is it Homeland Security?
I think Homeland Security
has labeled this a true game changer. When the media would have you believe, the mainstream media would have you believe, it's all a hoax and it's not going to do any good and it really doesn't exist. And
no, it is a game changer. It's a huge game changer. Mexico sat on their hands for like 3 decades, not doing anything, going, yeah, sounds good, we'll do that, and they don't do anything. Of course, there's quite a system of corruption in Mexico in terms of what the drug cartels pay politicians to,
Right.
Just have them la-di-da, la-di-da.
so what does Trump do? He tries to build a wall. That's stifled. He tries to move money from a Pentagon budget to try to help Homeland Security. That doesn't work.
He moves lots of troops to the border, too. Gets
Right.
criticized for that.
He gets criticized for that. He has no other choice. People criticize, well, he shouldn't be using tariffs. Well, okay, what should he use then to try to control the crisis at the border? He's tried everything else and he gets stifled at it. So the one tool that he's got at his disposal, he puts into play and
Buckos.
it works.
Yeah.
He
Hit him in
said,
the pocketbook.
he said, we're going to hit you with 5%. It's going to go up to 25%. The longer you sit on your thumbs. So while he's over looking very presidential, I might add, with the
D-Day.
the D-Day thing was off the chain. It was so good.
Yeah. He was very measured, very presidential. It was.
And the state
Good for
dinner,
us.
at within the UK with the Queen.
With the Queen, yeah.
Very, very well received. Even the mainstream media couldn't find. Well, they find some
Finally,
fault.
no, they
yeah, well, they
finally
said
caved
his
in and
suit
said,
didn't
okay,
fit.
fine, yeah,
Yeah,
he's having a good day. What a good day.
They said his suit didn't fit, so everything,
Oh, geez.
and one of my winners was Melania. I mean, she just She was just
Her suit fit.
so yeah, her suit fit very well. But anyway, while that's going on over there, you know, they're working the Mexico thing, and and the 6,000 troops to the southern border to stifle the influx of asylum seekers. And then I think the biggest is the asylum seekers
have to stay in Mexico,
right,
while everything gets processed, as opposed to just being here. I think for 20 days and
20
then they have
days
to be
is- yeah.
released. You talk about just an insane system for handling immigrants that are claiming asylum. I mean, they can only hold them 20 days and kick them out. Here's the number. Take your thumbprint and we'll see you in 3 years. Maybe.
Now, I didn't follow this part of it very well, but now did the House passed a version of a Dreamers bill just recently?
I don't know.
Okay.
That I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna have to look
'Cause
at
I've been
that.
on the road a couple of days myself. I'm not sure what exactly they've done.
Yeah,
'Cause they do so little.
It seemed like they wanted to do it simply for a gotcha message moment. Well, we passed this. We've got to refine the Dreamers Act, and the Senate won't act on it. McConnell won't even bring it to the floor for a vote.
Yeah, I
We've
think-
done our job.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many slices of immigration. Visas and Dreamers and legal versus illegal, and people that are born here that just happen to be traveling through the country. There's a lot to reform or look at again, but like taking these little pieces and then making a big political issue out of it.
The
is
numbers
just counterintuitive.
Right, the numbers that were given to that committee hearing about the arrests, about how many came across illegally, children, was astounding.
No, 140,000, 144,000 in May.
Yeah.
And they don't have the facilities for that. I mean, they say agents that should be patrolling remote sections of the border are doing paperwork. And everybody knows this. The drug cartels know it. The people in Honduras know it. So, it's like, oh, the green light's on. They're so confused up there. Get in now while you can. That's why you're seeing these huge masses of people come.
Yeah.
The whole world knows it's a chance to get in. Even ISIS. The reports that ISIS are bringing people in.
Right.
Mixed in with all the Hispanics.
Well, hopefully that's going to get resolved, and much to the chagrin of the Dems, who really, I think, just want secretly open borders.
Oh, yeah. I'll give you an interesting statistic. We lived in California and left in 1980. When we left
Smart man.
Well, it was to a better life. There were 23.5 million people in California when we left. Right now, there's 39.6 million people.
Doubled.
In California. 27% of them are Hispanic. So that means over 10 million people in California are Hispanic. And, the big thing is, no one can tell you of that over 10 million people, how many are legal and how many are illegal. And they're the biggest ethnic majority in California now. There's more Hispanics there than there are white Caucasians.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's flipped. So, the Democrats is a voting wedge, want to give votes to illegal immigrants. And if that happens, that changes all the congressional dynamics of California. More
That's what it's all
representatives,
money.
electoral college votes.
Right.
Yeah, it changes the game dramatically. So that's where it's going, folks. That's the big end game here. That it's very political and looking at voting blocks and power.
And now Governor Gavin has decided that it's a good thing if we provide health care for all
Medicaid.
these young illegals.
Yeah.
Medi-Cal or whatever it's called out there.
Yeah. And I've lived overseas, and you go into these other countries, and, forget about it. You cannot get on the medical systems easily. You go through a very rigorous process. I had to carry an ID card with me when I lived in Belgium. It's not the same. It's nothing like the U.S. I mean, what the U.S. has become. The U.S. used to be much more regulated and worked within the rules and the laws. It's just total chaos now, and it's just going to hurt this country in the long run.
I heard listening to Rush yesterday, there was a caller, And Rush agreed with this caller, and because he said he's been talking this up as well. You know, Trump never went to California. He just stayed out of there. There's thinking now that he should go out to California and go out to California and go out to California and campaign.
There is a conservative group
Very
in
conservative.
inland in Northern California.
You know, when Reagan it was a red state in Reagan days.
They had the Republican governors regularly. Deukmejian, who was the other guy? After Deukmejian. Anyway, they had a number.
Not about Schwarzenegger.
Well, Arnold was, sort of a.
He was a.
Yeah. But there's another Pete Wilson.
Pete Wilson, yeah,
was the other
right.
governor of California back in the day.
And I'm not so sure that's not a good strategy. Now, granted, that's going to take some time away from what he's got to hold these Rust Belt states. But I'm not.
But the guy's got the energy to do it.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So
that's true. We'll see if Biden does. Anyway. Well, we've been all over the world. We've been over to China. We've been over to Hong Kong. We've been down to Mexico. We've traveled about on talking about coal plants that are coming into all these countries when we're supposed to succumb to electric power. Anyway,
not enough electrons, folks.
Right. We're glad to be here. Rick and Bruce substituting for Brian this morning, who's taking a little bit of a shot to go over to the commission meeting this morning in Gilmer County and see what the latest is on the swimming pool saga. I'm sure you'll hear about that tomorrow. He'll also have a Blue Ridge segment tomorrow that probably will deal with some kind of a push to, I don't know, to inspect houses.
Find the money.
Find the money, yeah. Anyway, but why don't we take a pause for the cause here, Josh, and we'll thank some of those folks that make this wonderful telecast happen. And when we come back, we're going to do, how about we, I know you guys have a great sports show here, but Bruce and I like sports too, so we're going to touch on a few sport things in our last half hour. Josh, please take us to break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
It's always Truck Month at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. And with our maximum discount guarantee, nobody else comes close. Now save up to $11,000 off Silverado crew cabs, or choose 0% financing for 72 months, or save up to $7,000 off Colorado crew cabs. The new truck selection is huge, and the discounts are unbeatable at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where it's always Truck Month.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ella next to Walmart.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ella, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
Welcome to Mountain Valley Motors. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat vehicles available, plus a wide selection of quality used vehicles. Located at 7535 Appalachian Highway in Blue Ridge, we treat the needs of each individual customer with paramount concern. We know that you have high expectations, and as a car dealer, we enjoy the challenge of meeting and exceeding those standards each and every time. Allow us to demonstrate our commitment to excellence. Our experienced sales staff is eager to share its knowledge and enthusiasm with you. We encourage you to browse our online inventory, schedule a test drive, and investigate financing options. Visit us online or call us at 706-516-1053.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hey, we're back.
Hello.
Glad to be back. We've got a little rain came in this morning here in North Georgia, but I think it's gone. I think it's gone for the day. A little kind of cool out there this morning, a little
Yeah,
humid.
maybe
but,
a chance for a spotty one, but it's a little bit drier than it has been over the
I
weekend.
think the next 2 or 3 days are supposed to be nice, right?
Yeah. into
Yeah,
the
we
weekend.
Bruce and Rick are in for BKP in the second hour this morning. He took a powder and ran over to the commission's meeting, see when he's going to be able to swim in that brand new swimming pool that they've been trying to bring forward.
Is that going to be an Olympic pool?
I don't know the details on it, but apparently it's really a hot topic. As swimming pools.
I can't wait to see the 10-meter platform. That's going to be great.
We were all over the first half hour, all over the world, and we thought we'd keep it a little bit light in the 20 minutes that we've got remaining or so. And
even though we're talking about a world subject.
Yes, we are talking about a world subject. Let's talk about World Cup. Don't tell Brian that we were talking about soccer, football this morning.
Football.
Yeah, he just said he'll never be a soccer fan. I got to tell you, I've come around. Bruce has lived in Europe. His boys played soccer. One of his sons played college soccer, and was very accomplished. And they did just like my wife and I followed a baseball bus. They followed a soccer bus, and they
2 World Cups.
Yeah,
you've been to.
That must have been exciting.
Well, the one was the '94 in Chicago. They had matches in Chicago. So,
Okay.
So we saw Belgium lose to Germany on a disputed call, but anyway.
Well, let's talk about the women a little bit. The women, there's 24 teams, and the way we'll get real basic here. The way they do it is they divide it into
geographic regions.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because you have like a Europe pool, you have North America, South America,
Okay.
Africa, Asia.
So we got 24 teams. They're divided up into fours, and they
Brackets of 4.
Yeah, and they call them groups, and they're all identified by a letter. So the U.S. is in Group F, along with Sweden, Chile, and Thailand. And what they do is they have a round robin within that group, correct?
Right.
And the 2 top teams, in terms of scoring, in terms of wins and
Losses,
goals,
draws.
emerge, come out as a final group of 12, and then it's winner go home.
Winner go home.
Yeah.
All the way to the final.
So it's all over the news this morning. The U.S. women's team played their first game. They played what looked to me like a hapless Thai team. I mean, they were just not that good, regardless of the fact that they achieved World Cup status.
Yeah, they qualified.
Yeah, they qualified. There's never been a 13-0 goal, and there's no one ever in the history of sport, in this sport, that scored 5 goals in a game, which happened in favor of the U.S. team.
Right.
So they're being criticized this morning because they were excited or they over overexuberant when they scored their 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th goal.
Yeah.
Now,
what are you going to do? Rub it in. I mean,
this is the time of their life. Give them a break, folks. I mean, these ladies worked their keisters off to get where they are. They're very accomplished. They're probably on a elite college team somewhere.
Well, some of them, but the majority of them are in pro teams now. They either play in Europe or in the U.S. Women's League.
And they said that they said that several of the Thai members were playing for college teams in the U.S.
You find that in a lot of the teams.
Yeah, and they go back and they play for their home country.
Yeah.
But one thing that people don't realize, I don't think, and I'll let Bruce explain because he knows better, but there is a rhyme and reason to why you try to score a lot of goals.
Yeah. The goal difference, if you get into a bracket or even even if you tie later on and it ends up in a scoreless tie, although, usually when you get into the winner go home, it's decided by penalty kicks, and eventually that can mean something. But I mean, if you tie after a certain number of rounds, even with penalty kicks, it goes to goal differential. So, if you have, more goals in your previous games added together compared to the team you're playing against, you get the victory. So that's.
I mean, there is a benefit to having a lot of goals in your column.
Yes, it is.
A goal differential in your column, because
Definitely.
it could come down to either you advancing or not, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I mean, notwithstanding the fact that these ladies have worked hard and they should be exuberant about their first game in the World Cup. They're the defending world champions.
Yes.
Coming back in, so I think number one, they had to make a statement. These are the national champs or the world champs, and they're the reigning world champs until they get defeated.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to let people know that that they are going to be reckoned with. They need to be reckoned with, and that they're an offensive powerhouse.
Yeah, they are there, and they're there to win, and they are certainly one of the favorites. They are 3-time world champs. I mean, the World Cup for women started in '99, and the U.S. won that, and they won again in 2005, and they came in second in 2011 and won in 2015. So
not without some past controversy. I know that Hope Solo was always kind of a lightning rod. She was a world-class goalkeeper.
Yep. Very outspoken
for the U.S.
very
team.
Opinionated.
And didn't she just come out with a book or something like that?
Yeah.
Timing is everything, right?
Exactly.
Let's come out with my book just when the Women's World Cup starts.
Yeah, and she's on the record now criticizing the coach, who says she can't stand up to the pressure. But the coach was the one who took them to the 2015 victory. So
if anybody watched the game yesterday, you might have seen Hope Solo in the stands, clutching her book. By the way, I swear to God, she was clutching the book. Yeah. The U.S. plays when? They play, next game is
what'd you say?
Sunday?
Saturday or Sunday?
When is it, Josh? Sunday at noon against Chile.
Chile.
Chile. Head-to-head, they've beaten them twice, 2-0 and 3-0, I believe.
Yeah, then Chile was number 2 to come out of South America behind Brazil. So they're a good team. And the other team in the U.S. bracket, Sweden, is always been very good. They're always ranked. So they're another one of the possible favorites, along with France, Australia, and Canada.
Germany?
Or did Canada not get in?
No, Canada's in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Canada is in Group
E. There we are. Yeah, Canada is a formidable team. So there'll be some interesting matches to play. So I'm pretty certain the U.S. will get out of their bracket just fine. But
probably with Sweden, right?
Yeah, I would guess. And then it gets tougher. So
pretty good game today in Germany and Spain. That ought to be.
Yeah, Spain hasn't been there, I think, since the very beginning. So they're back to represent the Spanish nation. So I think they'll be very motivated to do well, and all the other teams are going to be very, very competitive.
A lot of big stuff going on. We've got. I'm not a fan, but I know that there are a lot of fans out there, including some close friends of ours out on the left coast. But the NBA Finals is down to a 6th game. Toronto Raptors had a chance to win in 4, but missed a shot right at the end. Golden State Warriors
1 point.
Win game 5. So now the Raptors are up 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden State is without their superstar forward because of Achilles problem, Kevin Durant.
Yeah. He's been out since early May with a calf strain. He came back for this game, performed very well, but then, made a step, and I think they determined it's an Achilles tendon tear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's going to affect a couple of things. It's obviously going to affect short term in the way that the Warriors are going to be able to perform overall.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stephon Marbury has enough to, Stephen Curry, yeah.
Steph.
Yeah, going back a few years, right?
Yeah.
If he's got enough in the tank to, be able to start banging threes and keep them close. But I think
Well, they're playing in Golden State. It's going to be the last game ever in this arena, so it's going to be very.
Is that right?
emotional.
I didn't know that, yeah.
The Oracle Arena. They're getting a new arena somewhere.
How they paying for that bad boy?
Hey, it's California. There's money for everything.
IRBs, industrial revenue bonds.
But so it'll be emotional, and then without obviously Kevin Durant, for the rest of the season, he becomes a free agent this year. So
Yeah, exactly. That was my long-term, effect on this Achilles injury is what's it going to do to his free agent status?
Yeah, I mean, you could view he's still going to be a draw, and you can rehab from Achilles. Maybe better than knee injuries. I don't know. These days. So yeah, it will remain to be seen whether they do well. So if in fact Golden State does prevail and hold on, it'll be 3-3, and the deciding game will be back in Toronto.
This is the first time ever if Toronto wins, the first time a team outside the U.S. has won. Isn't that correct, Josh? First time that a team has won outside in the NBA? Yeah. Yeah, in the finals as well, right. So.
And of course, there's only one team outside the U.S.
I thought there were two. There used to be two, you're right.
Yeah.
Who was the other one, Vancouver? Yeah, Vancouver Grizzlies.
Yeah, well, they're gone, but
yeah,
moved on. So.
Anyway, enough about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even believe we gave them that much time, but we did.
Hey.
And then we've got the U.S. Open coming out this weekend. Out in California. Back to California again.
California.
Yeah.
Well, you're more tied into golf with your son and everything, so you know more about it than me.
Well, I mean, it's fun to watch, and it's always fun to watch the majors. There's Koepka was out, took the major in New York. That was, what was that?
U.S. Open?
PGA.
PGA. And this is the U.S. Open.
Tiger had an emotional win at Augusta, and now
Masters.
and now we're back out at Pebble Beach.
Oh, is that it?
I think so. Isn't that right, Josh?
Yeah, Pebble Beach.
Yeah, Pebble Beach for the U.S. Open. So that that's a trying course.
The Clambake, Der Bingle.
Yeah, that's right. If the prognosticators are correct, I think maybe Dustin Johnson may be odds-on favorite.
Yeah, him and Koepka are the top two favorites.
Yeah, and Koepka nipping at his heels.
Jordan Spieth isn't he always like?
Spieth is like number 6 or 7. Rory is.
Yeah, Rory just won this weekend.
Yeah, Rory played phenomenally well in Canada at the CBC.
Mm-hmm. RBC.
RBC, excuse me, Royal Bank of Canada. Thank you.
Okay.
I got my acronyms mixed up there, Josh. Thank you. He played very well. I mean, he was, what was he, 20 under or something?
Yeah, he needed to birdie or shoot 2 under in his last 4 holes on Sunday to shoot 59.
Shoot a 59,
he ended
yeah.
up shooting 61.
Yeah. Just an amazing round of amazing 4 days of golf for Rory. He's obviously going to be a force. Tiger's, I think, picked second or third in some polls. So, and then Koepka's right up there, like Josh said, behind Dustin Johnson. So, we'll see. It's going to be fun to watch.
Who's the defending champ?
Koepka.
Oh, okay.
Koepka,
okay.
yeah.
So you got defending champ as a favorite.
Yeah, but Koepka's won 4 of the last 8 majors, Josh just made me aware.
Okay.
So he's
Horse to be reckoned with.
He's obviously going to be a horse. So it'll be fun, and it'll be gorgeous to watch out there. Scenery's always good. Sometimes the fog is a challenge out there coming in.
Yeah, but when it's nice there, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Right on the Pacific, it's beautiful. I mean, it's, storybook picture shots and things. It's beautiful.
We've talked about going out there and going to the car show at the.
The Monterey Concours.
Yeah.
D'Elegance.
Yeah, we've been toying with that idea. That's kind of a bucket list that
That would be fun to do,
Yeah.
Hook up with our friend Howard and Judy.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So
Maybe next year.
yeah, maybe next year. What else? What else we got?
Oh, Major League Baseball. I mean, how are the Cubs doing?
They've been hurting lately. They've
one of their guys is off, right? For some reason, he had some family issue.
yeah.
Ben
Zobrist.
Zobrist?
Is having a little wifey issue, divorce, and he just said, "I'll
see you later.
I'll see you around." Back. Yeah, I do too. I think it is hurting him, Josh. Back to a retired player, Big Papi.
Ooh.
Big Papi took a cap in the back. They've now made 3 arrests, I believe.
Dominican Republic's getting some bad publicity.
Let me tell you, the
lately.
DR is not a fun
boy.
place to be.
Yeah, stay out of your mini bars.
Yeah. The hats off to the Red Sox who paid to have him airlifted back to get some U.S. medical treatment. I think he's got some serious internal injuries. I know he lost a gallbladder and he's got some intestinal issues to recover from. But that was, I mean, I don't understand that. Is that just a hit job to say they took him out?
Or he said something to somebody, or owes money to somebody, or you never know about these things. There's always a backstory.
Yeah, that was a sad story, though, to see that would happen to someone that you think would be revered over there.
Yeah, he probably is by most, but you would maybe mix up with the wrong segment, or maybe it's just a one-off thing that has no relationship to any relationship they might have.
Josh has mentioned Yankee fans. I know Brian came on the air the other morning and he just said, "This is the only time you're going to hear me as a Yankee fan, giving a shout out to the Boston Red Sox." But he did, as a good sport would dictate.
And what about hockey? Are they tied 3-3 final game? It's the Blues and the Bruins.
Blues and the
St.
Bruins.
Louis and Boston.
Yeah, Blues and the Bruins. The only good news about the hockey season is I did get to attend, as we've talked about, with a friend of mine. We went to Chicago, then to South Bend to watch the
Mayor Pete.
Mayor Pete was not in the house. He doesn't come out in the cold. Anyway, we got to go to South Bend, Indiana, to watch the annual outdoor hockey game on New Year's Day,
NHL.
and we did see the Boston Bruins play. Yeah, they played. They played the
our Chicago Blackhawks.
Yep, and they pounded them pretty good. I think the final was 4-2 or 5-2, something like that. But it was fun to to kind of back into a good news story as to I got to see the team that's in the finals.
But you got to explain about the outdoor game. I mean,
oh my gosh,
the NHL Classic.
Yeah, NHL Classic is what it's called, and they've done this now, I think, about 9 or 10 years. It's going to be in Dallas next year.
Ooh.
The NHL, every New Year's Day at 1 o'clock, picks a site, and they go outdoors, and they have 80,000 of your closest hockey friends join you to watch an outdoor hockey game, regardless of the weather. I mean, it's been snowing and blowing sometimes. They've had rain.
It's not tented, right? It's wide
no,
open.
it's not covered. It's open.
And that you being a nice guy, that could be tough.
It's
Dallas,
very tough, and that's exactly right. Dallas Stars, I think. Is it the Stars? Yeah. They've got a really strong following down there. So, they want to give it to a market that supports the sport. But it could be a real weather challenge.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So
would you go thicker? You just make more ice, or
no? You really can't go thicker because what happens is the cold is coming up from the bottom.
Yeah, so
the thicker you get, the tougher it is for the cold to reach the top, and then that surface becomes wet.
Ooh.
And then it gets nasty. So they've got some standards that they try to go by. The NHL keeps that ice pretty thin to keep it at a consistent temperature, but all bets are off on that day.
Yeah.
They're dealing just like we do in the outdoor conditions. They're dealing with outdoor conditions: wind, rain, sun, all of the above, plus the friction on the ice. They're just lucky to get through the game.
So you hope they have good ice and it doesn't turn into weeky-watchy.
And yeah, exactly, and no one gets hurt. But anyway. All right, we've gone around the globe. We've gone around the country. We've touched on sports. That was fun. That was a good 20 minutes. We hope we didn't cut in on Lauren and Dave in their gangbuster show that they do together on what day? Mondays, Josh? Yeah, Mondays. So we hope we didn't impose on their turf.
They have a whole week to nurse their hurt.
What's that? We need a little midweek update. Yeah, there you go. Well, you got it. Enjoy the weekend with all the sporting activities. We got World Cup, Women's World Cup, U.S. Open, and I think that...
and the NBA game and
the NBA
NHL
game's going to be Thursday, and then there'll be an NHL final game.
Yeah.
So that'll be... I forgot to touch on that. Thank you for pointing that out. Anyway, it's 2 minutes before we close here, so we'd like to thank Brian, thank Josh for... being at the helm, letting us sit in to just chat about what we like to chat about. Hope you found it interesting. And we will, without further ado, we will be back with you on Friday with Brian and Jane with the All-Star panel.
Hopefully at Sycamore Crossing, weather permitting.
Yeah, I've got a weekend trip planned. I don't know that I'm going to be able to make it Friday or not, but we'll see how the schedule works. So again, thank you so much to our sponsors who make this show possible. Thanks to Josh for coming up with that quick flipper turn. We've got to TM that, Josh, and make sure that if Brian uses it, we get credit for it. All right?
Yeah.
And Josh has promised me that he's going to show me his Nadler bullfrog when we go off the air. I can't wait to see that, as I missed it during the week. So. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. Thank you, Josh, again. And we are out of here.